Hey, Chris Frosin here. I've been asked a number of times by some friends what my diet and food looks like, my lunch, breakfast, dinner, things like that. So I thought I'd do a quick video about that. Breakfast, in terms of what I have for breakfast, is very minimal. It tends to be a cup of green tea with a spoon of honey in it. Have we got any left up here? I think I had my last one. So it's Twinings Pure Green Tea. It's the best one I've found, or it's my favourite. Go and try. There's tons of them available. So it tends to be a big cup of green tea with a nice, healthy, big spoon of honey in it as well. If I'm training in the morning, I don't tend to have anything to eat until lunchtime. I don't tend to have anything to eat until lunchtime anyway. Occasionally I will do like a small bowl of tuna fish. I've got some John West tuna fish in olive oil, so I have that. Use the olive oil in my dressings as well, because obviously it's been sat in and soaking up all the nutrients and minerals from the fish, so I'll use that in the dressings. It's good for omega and fish oil and things like that, so I use that in my dressings. So that will be a small bowl of tuna. I tend to put a tiny bit of rocket in there. The oil, obviously, a little sprinkling of paprika or chili, just to kind of get your metabolism woken up a little bit. I use these Linwood's flaxseed almonds, Brazil nuts and coenzyme Q10. I put that in pretty much everything I make, mainly for the flaxseed and the nuts. So for the protein, the coenzyme Q10 is a enzyme that's created in the body. It's used for a lot of our energy that we make, and as we get older, it declines. So the body makes less of it. So you can supplement it a little bit, but that's not why I get this one. It's for the flaxseed and the almonds. There's a lot of fibre, iron, zinc, magnesium, and everything in that. So that tends to go in everything, including my turkey burgers, which I make. So I've got one that's thawing out there at the moment. It's one of my turkey burgers. That's very simple. That's turkey mince. What have we got? Turkey mince, onions, red onions, which have been sweated down. That's actually got some hazelnuts in it as well, ground hazelnuts, just to see what that was tasting like. It's not too bad. Cranberries, cinnamon onions, orange, a little bit of rocket, some parsley, and the same again, just a little bit of chili powder, just to add a little bit of spice and flavour. And supplementing that whenever I have, so that's breakfast. Yeah, that's breakfast. I don't tend to have it. I try to fast as often as I can for that period of the morning. Mainly, there's a few things that I tend to feel a little bit bogged down if I have a big breakfast. Don't get me wrong, I love a fried breakfast. Fried breakfast is fantastic, but if I do have that, it tends to be later in the day. If I'm getting up at 7, 8 o'clock, something like that, maybe a little bit earlier. If I'm trying to get to the gym, for instance, at 6:30, I don't tend to have any breakfast around then, and I'll have a quite substantial-ish lunch. But two reasons for that. One, like I say, it tends to feel like it's weighing me down a little bit, and I get a little bit lethargic. And there's other ways which I've found that waking your body up, or waking my body up, seems to work a bit better. So the green tea, little bits of that oil in a small bowl with some tuna fish and some rocket and things like that. And also, if you've fasted, if you've put the effort into fast, when you come to break that fast, breakfast, when you come to breaking that fast and having that first meal, you feel a lot less susceptible to having something shit, like a big bowl of cornflakes for breakfast, or a big sandwich, because I try to steer clear of bread as much as I can. Try and keep my carb intake as low as I can. So if you've fasted and if you've put in that effort, it just seems to be something that's in there that's niggling at the back of your head, saying, well, why are you going to have that sandwich? Why bother having that sandwich when you can take a little bit of time and cook something a little bit better. So I tend to fry all my food as well. So when I'm cooking, it feels very involved. If I'm frying, if I'm just throwing some sausages in the oven and then leaving them for 20 minutes and coming back, it doesn't seem very involved, doesn't seem like I'm doing it on purpose. So I like to fry my food, and that's one of the reasons why I don't use, or try not to use, too many supermarket sausages to go with my burgers. I tend to get now. I'm quite lucky that there's a farm shop about 5 minutes drive from me, so I've got a really good. There's a couple actually. There's another one just in Duffield as well. So there's Croup's Farm Shop, and then there's a butcher's in Duffield. But they do little packs of sausages. They are about my favourite ever sausages. Black pudding sausages. Black pudding is fantastic anyway, but black pudding sausages are just epic. Granted, it would be cheaper to get black pudding, but they're just really nice, really convenient. But cooking these, and that's chicken and salsa. Chicken and salsa sausages also rather nice. It's the first time I've had these, so hopefully they'll go really well with the turkey burgers. Lots of protein in both of those. But when I'm frying these, you don't see all the gunk and the gelatin and the whey and everything that looks like they're pouring out of, particularly Richmond sausages. If you look at Richmond sausages, if you're cooking those or frying those, the amount of shit that comes out of those. I don't cook them as whole. I'll take the skin off and then cut them up just into slices and then fry them like that. So if you're frying a Richmond sausage that's all cut up, you see everything piling out of it and you go, oh my god, I really don't want to eat that. So try to be very, very particular and involved when I'm cooking, so I like to get everything out of the frying pan. I've got my rocket as well. It can get quite expensive doing things like that, but I'm lucky I only have to cook myself, and because Sainsbury's is literally a minute away from the gym and I tend to go to the gym every day, I can kind of pick up review stuff quite regularly, so that's quite cool. And then, so lunch, I will put a few more carbs in my lunch compared to an evening meal, so I'll try and put some couscous in. That's just packet couscous. It's the Sainsbury's own, and then occasionally the Ainsley Harriott one when that's on offer. But it's completely cheap, and I'll just put a small amount in a bowl, stick some hot water in it, and that's done in a couple of minutes. I have tried to make some couscous just from regular couscous, which you can pick up, but I've not been able to get any flavour into it particularly. I'll keep trying at it, but at the moment the packet stuff is absolutely fine. And the other thing is egg noodles. Egg noodles are fantastic. You can get them dried like this. I'll break that in half and have half for one meal and half for another meal. But they're fab. That's all good. So try to have some carbs around lunchtime, and then the evening meal, the carbs again will be pulled off a tiny bit. I won't have as many for the evening meal. The evening meal will tend to be a couple of turkey burgers or a little bit more, maybe some bacon, just some more fats and proteins to kind of go through. I don't like the idea, whether this is right or not, I don't like the idea of having carbs late at night, because that seems to just sit in your stomach and encourages your body to just push it away rather than use it as it might do throughout the day. So a lot of the things that I do feel right in my head. Whether they're right or not, I don't know. But it's incredibly satisfying when you do cook something and you get it out on your plate. And honestly, it probably gets nicer every single time I eat it. So, and then the rocket and the salad leaves and everything like that. It's very important that you have a dressing on them because it makes digestion for things like that easier. So this is unfiltered extra virgin olive oil from Sainsbury's, but it's just a dressing in there. So in there you do 2/3 oil to 1/3 vinegar or lemon juice or something acidic. Sorry, not acidic, alkaline. Something alkaline to kind of counteract and balance out the oil, and then you can add things into that. So that one has 2/3 olive oil, 1/3 balsamic vinegar. It's got some paprika in there again, just to kind of give it a bit of kick. It's got a dash of salt and pepper. It's got some parsley and some rosemary, and I think it's got a chopped up chilli in that, just to kind of give it a bit of a pep. But it's important, the oil in that will help your body digest the greenery a lot easier and a lot more efficiently. You can pull the nutrients out a bit quicker. So that is pretty much where I get. That's pretty much everything. One more thing, I tend to have lots of cups of tea during the day. So that first green tea in the morning, I have to have that one. I could quite happily have a normal cup of tea in the morning, but I try to have a green tea in the morning because it's a cleaner wake up for my body. I find it a cleaner wake up, and it doesn't sit in my stomach quite as much as a big cup of regular tea or breakfast tea or even Earl Grey tea. So there we go. And everybody needs a tigger mug to have their tea in. It's important. Spot on. Right, I think that's everything, guys. I'm off outside. Got some work to do on my glant. I'm off to the car show tomorrow. Fingers crossed I can get it done. But let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll try to get some more of this kind of stuff out over the next few weeks. And this is Chris saying goodbye. Thanks so much.